Movie notes on Catch-22, 2019 film, 21 November 2024 viewing. I just finished viewing this today. Thursday, 21 November 2024. I'm squeaking in, finishing it before 8 p.m. I did good. So this is it's a fiction film type miniseries consisting of 6 episodes. The duration for all 6 episodes I watched was about 4 hours and 27 minutes. And it's about so it's a fiction film about an American bombardier and his military brethren who are stationed in Italy during World War II. And it has, I watched this, I think it was back in like 2021, possibly about the same time of year. And it was, at that point in time, they had a copy at our library. And as more movies come out on DVD, like, we lose some of our movies. And so it wasn't on the library. And like, this is from Duval, and my home library is Richmond Beach Library, at least currently. I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi. She, her, hers of Seattle, in Seattle, like King County library system. And so this time I had to put it on hold instead of it just being on the shelves. And so as the way of saying, I have watched this before, and I watched it all the way through before this viewing, and most of what I remembered was on disc 2. So episodes 4, 5, and 6, there's 2 discs, episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. I remembered correctly, there was directing by George Clooney, and I remember watching it a few years ago and being like, that's different for George Clooney, at least for my viewing experience. But in watching it, I do remember things from both discs, but I would say disc 2 heavy from what I remembered the last time through. It can be a bit graphic at times, such as the death on the dock in the water scene, which is in episode 3, the end of disc 1. For the most part, no, but there's like graphic flare-ups. And I would say Catch-22, so this is a miniseries film type adaptation of a book, and Catch-22 is, the story is essentially about this guy who's a bombardier, which is not the same as a fighter pilot. A bombardier flies in a plane with other people in it and drops the bomb. Okay. And so, which is different than a fighter pilot who's like in a 1 or 2 man plane. Okay. And so essentially he's out there, and they're given these kind of, you have to do so many flights or whatever one wants, missions or whatever one wants to term them. And then if you hit your allotment, then you're good to go. You can leave. And then essentially what happens is the theme of this movie is abuse of authority. So essentially, the number of flights that they need to do or missions that they need to fly keeps changing. So then he's like, as the number of flights keep changing, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna, because it keeps changing, I'm gonna get them done really fast, like as soon as I can, all together. And it was like, was it 11 missions or 11 flights over 6 days at one point. And so he's like, all right, I'm all done. I got them all, and like I got it done before you can change the number of flights again. And then the person in charge abuses authority, and he's not cleared to go. And it just keeps going all the way through. And so essentially, he comes up with this solution, partway through, or well, most of the way through, of like he's out there and on a mission, and the plane gets shot down, kind of thing, and like he gets, the clothes impair his ability to access his balls and stuff like that. And so he ends up sticking it to the man, so to speak, in abuse of authority by not wearing clothes. So that way, at least if he's shot, he's all natural. And then also there's the memory component of, he can remember post the plane getting shot down. I don't know, okay, as like one added benefit of it is like, well, then he can remember when he wore clothes, the plane went down. When he doesn't wear clothes, maybe the plane won't go down. That kind of thing. And so my Elon Musk 3.0 goes, I'll pull a Catch-22 for you. I won't wear clothes in the Tesla factory. I'm like, how about the SpaceX factory? And we do it in a rocket engine before it's finished being manufactured. and then belly to belly, face to face, no clothes, and then it can be put into the rocket, and that way when the rocket goes, all of the sweet loving juices go, they get flamed up. I got a response to that Catch-22 from my Elon Musk 3.0. I got it. All right. Anyway, so there we go. It's enjoyable. I gave it, I think, 5 out of 5 stars last time, and I still give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's a good 4.5 hours. And it picks up too. Yeah. There is, I would say, this is similar to The Good Liar 2019 film, which I covered recently. In the sense of it provides a little bit of a glimmer or a glimpse into the less. So the United States of America reveres itself as being the hero of World War II. And Germans were vile, 100% of them. And Italians were vile, 100% of them. And this is one of the ones that go, well, let's actually break down what the Americans did when they were in Italy. Right? They invaded Italy in terms of military occupation. Right? The Italians were, there were original peoples there, and Americans were like, since we've killed all the Native Americans, which they haven't, I'm Euro Native American, but then they're like, invade Italy as well, and invade those original peoples as well. And so there's that element of it. That's it's a reminder, America can't keep it in its pants, so to speak. But that actually does escalate in this in terms of an American soldier rapes an Italian woman and then kills her by pushing her off the balcony or throwing her off the balcony. I was like, oh yeah, those details, that did happen, right? This is a fiction film, but stuff like that did happen. And so I do appreciate this for the perspective of just because a blanket hate is spewed by Americans towards Italy and Japan and Germany doesn't mean it's true, right? And there were bad Americans and there were bad American soldiers. So I do appreciate that about this film. So thinking forwards for myself, do Josh and I stay at / keep the house I move into with him? So let's say I move in with my Josh, and let's say we ask my parents if they want, well, Tanis found this house and I like the house too, and we want to get you this house. And let's say my parents say yes to the pale yellow house. Do we keep the house I move into with him? What's the layup there? Are the squirrels going to become indoor squirrels? Are they going to be indoor-outdoor squirrels? What's the living space? So even if I go to school / work in another country, say Italy, does that house that I move into with Josh stay our home base in the Seattle area? Which, in thinking through a recent electricity outage, might not be a bad idea. Because if the houses are far enough apart, then we can all migrate to one person's house. Especially if it's cold and snowy. Whose house are we going to? Who has electricity? So, there we go. Do I live in northern Italy, no matter where my university is, if pursuing a PhD in physics in Italy full-time? No on-campus office. Commute to campus as applicable? In this movie, the woman of Italy living in Italy are raped by American soldiers in Italy. Do Americans continue to rape Italian women like nowadays? Do they do so all over Italy? Then perhaps northern Italy is better, as at least it is the land of my ancestors that came from the region. Do I spend, let's say I did something with that, do I spend 1 year to 1.5 years living alone in an apartment near campus? So let's say if the university was in Rome or a different metropolitan center that isn't necessarily in northern Italy, do I go, I'm going to live close to campus for a year and a half? Is part of the longer, roughly 5 to 7 year commitment. All right, so then do 1 to 1.5 years. Figure out, is there time where I need to be near campus if I don't have an office, right? Since I don't have an office, put a bunch of on-campus type work into that period if I can, as applicable. And then a PhD is a degree, typically a 5 to 7 year commitment, not a lifelong commitment. It is the only. So if I do that, is the only electronic equipment in my kitchen the fridge / freezer? Yes. Do I eat out all the time and eat prepared foods and do a no cooking for a year to a year and a half, and not even electronics? So I don't even get a microwave in the kitchen. That would be kind of fun. does my Elon 3.0 have a Lamborghini office, and he sets up a Tanis cubicle with a computer where I can go in, and I don't even have a computer at my house, and I go, I'm going to try living without a computer or a laptop in my residence for a year to a year and a half. And so I go and upload my YouTube videos there. And then he goes, okay, and then we're going to strip all the parts out of a car, and he's going to lay a foam mat on the bottom, and then he's like, sweet, sweet loving, belly to belly, face to face. He's like, but maybe I don't want to be on top. And I go, yo, Ben, where are your frozen peas? Okay. Am I going to put it in your belly button? Is it going to melt? Is that how that works? All right. So there, I thought about it, but I was like, is that a catch-22? He's feisty. He's known. He's the feistiest of all wealthy men in the bedroom. He gets a Scoville 1 million out of 5 from me. So there we go. And it's my movie notes on Catch-22, 2019 film, 21 November 2024 viewing.